a brilliant blend of technology, art, and craftsmanship. Garrison's patented technology, the Griffiths Active Bracing System, is a revolutionary method of acoustic guitar construction. Consisting of over 40% glass, the composite material integrates the binding, kerfing, bridge plate, and all the braces into one component. The guitar's top is activated by having all the parts vibrate in unison, providing enhanced acoustic response and structural stability. Garrison's neck bolts on through our patented neck block, made from the same glass fiber material. It is designed to lock into the top and back braces, allowing for enhanced tone transfer between the neck and the body of the guitar. The same technology is applied to Garrison's end block, with a half-inch hole ready for future electronics. Other Garrison guitar components are created using traditional guitar building tools, high-tech machines, and old-fashioned, hands-on craftsmanship. Garrison uses the latest in laser technology to cut the top, back, and sides of your Garrison guitar. It has to be accurate within thousandths of an inch to be properly glued into the bracing system. The necks and bridges are machined on Garrison's computer numerically controlled router. The 3-axis CNC shapes and contours the neck and headstock and is able to switch between tools automatically in about 2.5 seconds. The paint used on every Garrison guitar is expertly applied and is a UV-curable polyurethane. We use a 6-foot, 6-axis robot to expose the guitar to an intense UV light, drying the paint in under a minute. Our final assembly team takes great pride in putting all the quality components together, dressing the frets, setting the action just right, creating a guitar that is enjoyable to play and sounds like a guitar twice its price.
Now, people pay a lot of money for handcrafted guitars, but a guy in St John's has started a revolution. He's making mid-price instruments with state-of-the-art technology. Music is everywhere in St John's, Newfoundland. It leaks from downtown pubs and through the back doors of kitchen parties. And St John's boasts a world-renowned folk scene. One Newfoundlander who knows this well is Chris Griffiths, founder of Garrison Acoustic Guitars.
We have more acoustic guitar players per capita than any other city in North America.
So 2 years ago, Chris started selling his own instruments. And he came up with what some people call the single greatest innovation in the history of the acoustic guitar, the Griffiths Active Bracing System. For one, it reduces the manufacturing time from hours to mere seconds.
Basically what we've done is taken all these braces, the bridge plate, the kerfing, the binding, all these internal reinforcement components that are inside every acoustic guitar but are traditionally made one at a time, individually machined and individually installed out of wood. So by having all these components made out of one piece, no matter where you create the vibration along the top of the acoustic guitar, that vibration has an uninterrupted path to transmit itself throughout the entire instrument.
Surprisingly, acoustic guitar design had remained relatively unchanged for some 170 years. So how did a 29-year-old maritimer change the tune? It began at age 12 when Chris received his first electric guitar for Christmas. By Boxing Day, he had completely disassembled it.
I think that really speaks to the fact that, instead of hoping to grow up and be a rock star, I was really having this natural curiosity as to what makes a good guitar good, and where does the instrument sort of leave science behind to become very much an art form, or where does the art form match up with the science and the engineering behind the instrument.
Finding this balance took 6 years of tinkering with different materials. The bracing system needed to counteract the 150 pounds of tension that the strings place on the guitar. More importantly though, it had to match the acoustic qualities so prized in wood.
The challenge was that the thousands of composites that had to be poured through in order to find the one that works best. And here we have a glass fiber composite, long strand glass fibers that are carried into the mold with a resin composite, which is sort of our secret sauce that goes with the glass. It's over 40% glass, which adds a lot of strength to the instrument as well as gives us those acoustic properties that we're looking for.
The next challenge was covering the brace with wood. Because the brace was built with specific dimensions, the exterior components had to fit within thousandths of an inch. The answer lay in fusing state-of-the-art technology with traditional craftsmanship.
We put in a blank piece of wood, we draw a picture on the computer of the end product that we're looking for, and instead of using ink, we're going to use a 50-watt laser to cut out the exact proportions of the wood so we can mate it with the bracing system. So in this machine, controlled by the computer, we cut out our tops, backs, and sides. We take away the waste, pop out the sound hole, and here we have the top cut out to exactly the dimensions that we're looking for, including the sound hole and some registry points that are going to be used later on in the process.
Once cut, the front, back and sides are glued to the brace. The other half of the guitar, the neck, is built separately, first shaped by hand and then perfected by another robotic gadget.
This is the machine that we use for manufacturing all of our necks. It'll change tools automatically in 2.5 seconds, and the end result after about 7 minutes or so is a neck that's completely shaped, a headstock that's cut out and contoured, all the holes drilled, and this is ready to move on to the next process.
From here, the guitars are sanded, oiled and painted. Instead of using a solvent-based lacquer, which takes time for the solvents to gas off, Garrison uses paint with an ultraviolet curable finish.
The downside is that this UV light is about 1,000 watts. It's very bright, and so it's not ideal to have humans exposed to it. So that's why we use this 6-foot, 6-axis robot to take the wet body of the guitar, bring it into an isolated room where the UV light is, and manipulate the guitar in front of the light. The process takes about 2 or 3 minutes, so it saves us time, and it's better for the environment.
Once dry, the guitars are polished to a high sheen and sent off for final assembly.
Here we are in the final assembly department at Garrison Guitars, where the neck and the body come together. We're going to attach the neck to the body, bolt it and glue it. We're also going to attach the nut in the saddle, the tuners, the electronics, and then finally put the strings on, tune it to pitch, and make sure it's playable.
After all, how a guitar sounds is far more important than any manufacturing technology.
The top of an acoustic guitar works like the speaker in your stereo cabinet. It really is just pushing air. So the more it vibrates, the better your guitar is going to sound. By having all our braces and that whole internal reinforcement structure vibrate as a single unit, you get much more efficiency with the top actually pushing air and acting as your speaker. Also, it maintains its sustain. The notes will actually ring longer and ring true, once again because of the single unit bracing system. So if I can just demonstrate this for you quickly, you can hear the warm response from all the strings, as well as great projection and good sustain on all the notes.
And artists agree. Alanis Morissette, the Tragically Hip, Tom Cochrane and the Bare Naked Ladies all use the Garrison acoustic. Even the local folk band Razza, led by Erin Best and Sandy Morris, are quick to testify.
What I like about the sound of the Garrison, I mean, it's delicate, but you can smack the thing, and it doesn't distort, it doesn't crap out. It kind of sounds really almost like it's a compressor on the guitar already. It's got a good dynamic range, and it's got a sweet tone.
As Razza play out their song, Shades of Blue, one wonders what other secrets does Chris Griffiths have up his sleeve? Luckily, you won't have to wait another 170 years. Garrison is already looking to other instruments, like violins, to incorporate its bracing technology. And that is music to many an ear.
And every thought belonged to you.
I did it because I was passionate about guitars. I did it because I had a new idea for constructing guitars that had never been done before. And I did it here because this is my home and this is where I want to be. It's sort of a side effect of having been drawn into the opportunity from those motivating factors at the same time as the province was really looking around saying we have to dilute our dependency on natural resources and build an economic base that's much more diversified and much more export focused. So I happened to fit those criteria at the time that I was pursuing my own dream.
Maybe get the RG stalled or popular
Just to show
stall.
we can get them, and for those people.
Yeah, and people say, oh, you guys are carrying on this now.
I think I learned a lot because I had to really keep my expenses prioritized. I had to really get out there and make sure that I had a strategic advantage that would put me ahead of my competition. And so starting under those harsh economic environments really taught me how to run a lean and mean machine. Basically what we've done is we've combined all these internal reinforcements and made them out of one piece instead of individual pieces of wood. The material's a glass fiber composite. It's over 40% long strand glass fiber. That glass makes the part very strong and also helps transmit vibrations very effectively. So by having all these materials made out of one piece, the whole system vibrates as a single unit. The whole idea was basically flushed out in about 6 minutes. I mean, I always say ideas are a dime a dozen. It's not about coming up with good ideas, it's about executing good ideas.
We prepare new technology companies for private investment. So we help them develop the company to the point where they'd be able to convince a private investor to invest in the company.
I didn't know how I was going to write a business plan good enough to attract, millions of dollars worth of investment. I didn't know how to do all the market research, and they really helped me take me step by step through the process. I'm just looking at timelines of what my options are as far as getting that shipment. And I was actually taking money out of my first company to finance the startup of my second company. And I had really drained every resource that I had available to me. I had just completely run out of cash. And that was a turning point because I had no other choice but to go to the investors and say, you know what, you guys either put money in right now or this project is over. It's all been so polite up until now, hasn't it? And I was telling the truth, and I was about to lose everything. And I guess my investors sort of thought that was kind of cool in a way, that I had been willing to risk everything to the brink of losing it all, that they thought, well, if I'm willing to do that, then they're willing to take their share of the risk as well. And they made a small but significant investment in the summer of 1999 that was absolutely the turning point that led to the finishing of the research and development and the patents that led to the eventual start of Garrison guitars.
And I say, well, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just got to say, I say, well, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind.
You can look back on some of the decisions I made and question whether or not I risked too much. Was it sensible to lose a great operating little company and a good career just to start something that may have never come to fruition? I'm not wired that way. I don't think that way at all.
One thing that he has in common with all successful entrepreneurs is persistence and patience. It took him a long time to put it all together, but he hung in there even through the times where it looked like, things were falling apart and he wondered.